Yeah, hey guys, Paul here from Resin Tables NZ. So today's going to be a bit of a busy day. We've got a fair bit of polyurethane work to do to seal the bottomless and bench seats, and then I made this rack here for my wife that I promised to do for a long time, and I got a polyurethane there, but yeah, it's all good, you know. Sunday morning. This is my resin epoxy room. So over there you can see we've got a couple of bench seats, and I've got this mahogany and Jara towel rack that I made for my lovely wife. So I've got to get that polyurethane today. And then over here we've got a big macrocarpa ring slab that I've had for a while, so that's another project that I'll get onto later on. And swinging around, what have we got over here? Oh, I've got a couple of strip tables that I'm working on, and back to the old bench seats for the poly, and this fella here. Yeah, that's 1/3 of a very large river table that I'm going to be doing onwards and upwards. Let's carry on for today and get busy.
Am I sexy? Am I sexy? No, in all seriousness guys, when you're doing any type of polyurethaning or
that's a bit better, isn't it? Whew, it's a bit high in here. Can't even think. Okay, so yeah, when you're doing any type of polyurethaning or any type of solvent work, you really want to have a really good mask, man. I mean, seriously. Yeah, this stuff is really not very good for you.
Don't be a donkey, and always remember to wear your mask.
God, this wood's beautiful. This is a pin oak, by the way. It's a pin oak bench seat. And this timber's beautiful, eh? I'm so happy I bought it. Yeah, like I said guys, when you're doing polyurethane, just thin coats. You don't want to put it on too thick. You don't want to get any runs and ruin your work. I can already see that it's drying here. A little bit dry spot there, that little row. There's one here. Okay guys, so these are two, when I get around there, beautiful pieces of macrocarpa that was given to me by a very dear friend some many years ago, many moons ago. I am finally turned it into a dining table for my lovely wife, lovely wife. But instead of doing a fully encapsulated resin table, these are the outside edges of the table. This will be where the river is, here and here, when they reverse and facing each other, which I'll show you in a moment. But with this one, we're going to have the river of stone and driftwood, and even possibly some LED light through the middle as an option that we can turn on and off. Which really is the in thing now, eh? It really is. And I'll talk a bit more about that later. But what I'm doing here is I'm just giving it a second coat of polyurethane. I'm not aiming for a finish at the moment. I'm merely sealing the timber and just really getting the poly to settle down into these fine hairline cracks throughout the timber. I may even have to inject some poly resin into these cracks, but for the time being I just want to get it all sealed up and crack on, lad, crack on. So always make sure you got your mask on. This stuff really is not good. I did a video the other day and I was talking about poly, and I tell you, man, seriously, I was pretty wasted. I actually vomited after doing that video, just by not enough ventilation in my resin room, which I've now overcome with an extractor fan. And yeah, so let's just crack on. So no talking for the next 10 minutes or so until I get this done. As you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but the macrocarpal on the leading edge, which is facing out, I've still left all the circular saw blades in it, where it's been milled, and I just think that just adds to the character. I mean, it's something you don't get from a shop. You know, you go to a shop and you aren't going to get all this unrefined character that makes the pieces so unique and out there on their own. You know what I'm saying? Donkey, get out of there. Such a naughty donkey. I don't know. That was a bit silly. I just put my hand on wet poly. I'm also going to use the press release plastic once again, just to so I can flip these boards over and do the underside or the top side or whatever straight away. I really just want to get these all sealed up. Just a key thing to remember: if you're going to do a project like this and you're going to have your timber polyurethane or waxed or anything like that, it is vitally important that you avoid getting this where you're going to be putting epoxy resin like through the river. The reason for that is it can interfere, so it'll stick to it, but it can interfere in the sense that the poly binds to the timber, but it most likely won't have as much strength, well, it won't have as much strength as what the epoxy binding will do. So the epoxy is going to bind to the polyurethane, and that's going to be the weakest point of your work. So if you ever were to pick up the table, you aren't relying on the strength of the polyurethane in the river. You aren't relying on the strength of the epoxy resin in the river. You're relying on the strength of the polyurethane that's on the side of the river. Comprende? All of this will be sanded back and seal coated again. Polyurethane again. So, like I said, I'm just not really overly concerned about lines or runs or anything like that. I'm just protecting my top surface. Oh, that was my lovely wife. Just like this one. So what I've done this morning is I've gone over these pieces and I've just sanded off the last coat with a 800 grit coarse sandpaper, and I've just done that by hand, and I've just used a one of those magnetic cloths to go over the work and get all the dust off. And now I'm just giving it its final coat of polyurethane by brush. Now a lot of people have said, hey look, you know, I always use the sponge, I swear by the sponge, but I've always used brush, and it's kind of something that I'm accustomed to using, and I think you just get used to using and doing things in your own way. But in saying that, when I come to do the next ones, yeah, sure, I'm going to try some different methods, using brush or using a rag like some people have said. We'll also be looking at other ways of sealing and protecting timber by a hot mineral and beeswax dip. I quite often use tung oil or beeswax on my chopping boards and things like that I make. So I've got a whole lot of videos that I want to do for you guys, and also for potential clients. So when the client comes through, sees the videos that we do, sees how we make the furniture and the end result, and I think it gives them a peace of mind, knowing that each piece is going to be lovingly created and lovingly finished. And yeah, that's the most important thing to me. You know, making sure that my clients are very, very happy. So anyway, pressing on, big day ahead. Got to get this polyurethane done. Got to go and a couple of custom bench tops, benchy tops that I'm doing. Those ones are filled with like a resin river running through it, so you can see how I did the mold for that in the video, in one of the videos I've got listed. Oh, this is starting to look pretty sexy. I look like myself. Well, only I tell myself that. Never mind. There is hope. And then I'll break up the butter. And hand sand them, hand buff them, sorry. So we get them all nice and shiny.
Okay, so that concludes the video about the polyurethane for today. And tomorrow we'll be doing a video about the final flood coat over the river bench. So look out for that one. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for subscribing and thanks for watching. Here are these benches that we've been working on, and finally they're in their new home on top of the world.